Good evening. Welcome to another episode of WorldWideChels presents Uncle Jester's Barbecue. I'm here with a few good friends and some that are late, didn't bring beer, so next time they're buying the first round, except for Melina because she doesn't do those types of things. But sorry we're a little late, folks. Not everybody can be on time. Of course, I'm here with my guy Carlito, as always. Um, and this time at least, I think they're on the bottom instead of on the top. We have Melina and we have Shrinoff from Canada. So now we get to be on top for a while.
Are you saying that we're Canada's hat?
No, with their pants. We're Canada's butt. There we go.
If we're in the upside down world, then wow. I mean, those are some optics that I can't even comprehend. Jared,
Yes.
These are interesting times for Chelsea. I have to be honest with you. And look, I won't dwell on this, so I'm going to open with this, but I won't dwell on it. I won't. And I promised I wouldn't. But Rory Jennings is someone that I don't particularly like. Child actor, been on the EastEnders, all that shit. He has his own thing going. He speaks in confluences that are deliberately almost condescending. I don't understand why, but I guess that's just the language that he understands. However, he went on Talk Sport the other day, very recently, and he said, I was duped by Mason Mount. Now, I promise, Jared, this will be the only time we talk about him. But he said, I was duped by Mason Mount. And I got to think about all of these YouTubers, all of these journalists. These journalists, right? These journalists that swear a private oath to be responsible and to be upholding of the ethics that come with reporting the news, right? To really care and be objective and not be duped into some sort of weird ideology. And I have to say, not just the YouTubers, but specifically the journalists that have been in the camp of Mason Mount and have betrayed their oath of their profession. I mean, how foolish do you look? Because even Rory Jennings, guy fucking loves young Cobham players that get upheld at Chelsea. Like, he loves that shit.
Allegedly.
He loves that shit. And even Rory Jennings is saying everything Mason Mount has said is a lie. And all of the reporting allegedly around Mason Mount has been a lie. And look, I know how the real world works. I'm in marketing. I get it. But that's my professional life. This is my personal life. This is me loving Chelsea. And I have to just say that I'm extremely disappointed that there are certain people that still bought into the Mount bullshit. I saw from day one, man. I mean, I've been on this train for 2 years. Welcome, motherfuckers, to everybody that's just late to the party. You're still welcome to the party. But fuck me, man. Fuck me. He flat out lied. He didn't want to stay. Him with his dad in the locker room of Manchester United. The locker room I've been in, by the way. I just said, oh, this is home. This is home. In it. Fuck out of here, Mount. You never wanted to be here. You wanted to leave. This is all manufactured. This is all conjecture, contrived bullshit. That's all I have to say about that. Jared, let's keep it moving.
Yes. Anybody want to kick the dead horse, or are we going to move?
Let's move on.
Cool. All right. Well, we got over that Mount, and let's see what lies before us. Well, I guess I can start in on this one since it's a topic near and dear to my heart. Christian Pulisic will become an AC Milan player. Deal is done. We got a here we go. And there he went. Someplace I said he was going to go to for a year. I got laughed at, saying, why would they need Christian Pulisic? Well, they apparently wanted him enough to pay the money to get him. So he goes off to AC Milan, never reached the heights they could have. But I am going to say it again. At his best, when we saw the best of Christian Pulisic, it was better than Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham. Name a Callum player.
Oh yeah, Chalobah, name your pick. I mean, even guys as recent as Omari Hutchinson. I mean, at his best, Christian Pulisic was a very dynamic player. Someone that Klopp has had his eyes on. A couple other high-profile teams had his eyes on. I think that Christian Pulisic, when healthy and when confident, is a very good player. My problem has never been about the player. My problem has always been about the man. I don't like the man. I think that he does way too many interviews, and every time he does interviews, he bitches about Chelsea. And it's like this sort of self-absorption. And he even came out with it again with his father doing the tweet saying that he's basically going to leave Chelsea. Look, I'm an American. I'm going to admit it. So is Jared. But we know how good this player is. But at the same time, I don't ever remember him being very positive about Chelsea. It's always just been about, like, what's going on with you in Chelsea? What's wrong with your relationship with Chelsea? And that's always bothered me because it's always just been this negative ethos, and I just can't abide that, man. Andrew, what do you think?
He's got another chapter for his book, so he can write what he wants about Chelsea at the end. I think it's a good price. I think Poch said it in his opening thing. He only wants to work with people who want to be here, so just get rid of them. They want to be here, don't want to be here. It's a slower league, easier for him probably to adapt, and Milan need a right-sided winger.
So that's actually not where they want to play him. They want to play him up the middle.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't mean to call you out. I'm just saying what I heard.
No, I'm just assuming Raheem's come back to Real Madrid, so you're probably right about that. But it's just don't want to be here, go. And I'm glad we're not haggling over too much of a difference in prices.
Sure.
Like we want like 10 million or 15 million more. It's 5 or under, depending on like add-ons, and I think there's a sell-on clause as well, if I read.
Yes.
Onto this. So no, it's fine. He played well. Well, his best performance was obviously the best performances were after lockdown, and we didn't really see anything come close to that since then, really. In and out of the team most of the time. Never really got much of a chance, really. So,
but Andrew, I got to ask you this. Man. Addition by subtraction, and I do believe that because we've had so many people call it dead weight. I think that's a little pejorative. I think that we just had players that we're not going to play, right? Sort of hanging around, collecting salaries, not playing, not contributing. And for me, I am all for this exodus, right? And we've done extremely well, especially in the June window that we had to make sure the fiscal year had money in it, right? But at a certain point, we do have to be concerned, and KJ, I'll bring you in here, we do have to be concerned about losing too much, getting too thin, getting too skinny, right? And I'm looking at the wingers, and I always think you need 4 wingers. Man City, 4 wingers. Chelsea needs 4 wingers. Right now we have 3 wingers. And so, Andrew, should we be concerned that maybe we're shedding too much?
No. The only area is in the midfield, so to speak. Any other area we need reinforcements since we don't have them in the first place. I'm fine with the. I don't know if they're going to bring another winger in. I'm not too sure about that, but I'm fine with them. They weren't if you're not going to use them or he doesn't want to use them, there's no point in them hanging around. Whether it takes out of your spot, and if he doesn't want to be here as well. So he's talked about not really want to be and wanting to move on. So there's really no point in letting them hang around. So I'd rather get rid of them instead of having them, toxify, be bad, instead of having the atmosphere around. So I'd rather that. Worry about it later instantly. Whether you're going to promote someone or just think, oh, we're only playing once a week, we can really handle that up until maybe January or something like that, and then you bring someone in.
KJ, what do you think, man? I mean, are we losing too many?
No, I think we're losing the right amount. My only concern is the fact that we're signing people that finished high school 3 years ago. You know how I feel about Wonder Kids, man. I'm not opposed to signing youth. I'm just very wary of the fact that we're signing an abundance of youth with a lack of experience, which, I mean, to some people, it could be okay. I know Poch has worked with experienced sides all the time, so I'm sure he's giving his input, but that's my only concern. I think the players that are leaving right now need to leave. That's pretty much it.
So KJ's pretty much just say no to kids.
Bro, listen, we need to stay far away. Don't touch them kids, man. Don't touch them kids.
Brother. I just watched a 5-part documentary on the American Gladiators, and you and Lewis are competing to see who is the most swollen person in this fucking fan base. My lord.
I'm not even swole, man. I'm not even swole.
Brother, but look at you. You're so handsome, you're breaking my fucking camera, man. My God, look at this guy. Look at this jabroni. Nah, I love you to death. So Breezy. Besides how handsome KJ is, Breezy, I'm really concerned about not bringing in a fourth winger. Now, for me, it's DYBALA. DYBALA has been consistently one of my favorite players for about 7 years now. For me, this is a no-brainer. $12 million release clause, yes, but addition by subtraction, yes, but up until what point?
It's a great question. There were reports that came out. Now, I haven't really been on the timeline a whole lot today, but earlier this morning, there were reports that Roma are expecting Paulo DYBALA to report for training, of course, as he would. But the report almost seemed like it was saying that DYBALA was going to stay in Roma. Of course, we have to see if Chelsea are going to start negotiating with his camp and decide to trigger that release clause.
Sure.
But aside from Paulo DYBALA, I mean, I know that, KJ, you're not really keen on youth, but I am going to touch on one player here. And a lot of people are shouting Ryan Cherki. And I can't say that I've watched the kid a lot, but I do like that he can play multiple positions. I think one thing that we are trying to do is have players that can play multiple positions. So even though we're losing a lot of players like Pulisic, there have been rumors, whether true or not, we've seen, rumors about even Raheem Sterling. We've lost a lot in our attack that needed to go. But having players like Nkuku who can play, on either wing, he can play as a number 9, he can play behind the striker, he can play as a 10. Bringing in a player like Ryan Cherki is only going to cause more depth. DYBALA is kind of the same thing. I don't think the club, of course, we're nowhere near finished, and I think we will look to bring in another player on the wings.
On the topic of Raheem Sterling, so Fraser Fletcher, one of those TikTok hair journalists, they said that Raheem Sterling was looking for a move, and then I was messaged by a journalist I trust that said that's completely untrue. And then the PR person, the spokesperson for Raheem Sterling, quote tweeted Fraser Fletcher and said, "I would like to know where you get that information," because it was entirely untrue. And Raheem Sterling is very excited to play for Mauricio Pochettino. He's very excited for the players that we're bringing in. He will be staying, and Chelsea absolutely does not want to sell him. So I am very curious, one, where Fraser Fletcher got his information, and number two, why journalists feel the need to lie in order to think that they will get ahead. Because I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I would rather you didn't do this because I would have respected you more if you just didn't say it. And yet you said it, and now I respect you less. Let's keep it moving, Jared. But did Christian Pulisic, Jared, Molina, did he let down America?
What in what sense though?
Did he not do what he was promised?
You mean did he not deliver? Yeah, then
Yeah,
the
did he
answer
not
is
deliver?
yes, I agree.
Jared, what do you think?
Well,
But maybe there was too much
he has
expectation.
delivered something that Arsenal's never seen.
All right, Jared.
just putting it out there, though. You know, it's just a little thing called Champions League. You know,
Helps you sleep at night, Jared. No problem.
I think this is where the millennials say less, I guess, which means by the way, say less means I agree with you. That is the strangest thing. That is the strangest bit of slang I've ever heard in my entire life. Jared, I'll just put this pin in this, but say seriously, Pulisic, 24 years old on his day, great player, but man, your mouth and your injury record did not do you any favors, my bro. Did not do you any favors. Whew. I'm really upset about it, by the way, because I actually think he's a really good player. But let's keep it moving. Andre Santos. Now, Srinath, I want to bring you in on this because I find this to be incredibly baffling and mesmerizing. We just signed this young man. I'm not going to call him a kid or boy or anything like that. He's a young man. He's 19, 20 years old, right? So he's becoming a young adult. He signed for 8 years, right? This young man. And 2 days into his preseason, 2 days, Barcelona tries to bid for him. I got to ask you, dude. Number one, the gall, the temerity of Barcelona to do that. And number two, what the fuck are they thinking? Andre Santos is going to be evaluated by Pochettino. And if he's good enough to stay, he's good to stay. And on top of all that, he's elated to be at Chelsea. So I don't even understand this move to begin with. Talk to me, Srinath.
So first and foremost, when I first saw that news, I thought it was written all over with Gerard Romero, like the journalist who cracks up all kinds of rumors about Barcelona. It stinks of that, but turns out it's not him. But it first proves what kind of a baller we have signed, with the fact that we have signed him for 8 years. And not only Barcelona, there were rumors of PSG trying to price him, but we are being stubborn. That shows what kind of a baller he is, what kind of a player we have got. And Pochettino is stubborn that he wants him in the preseason. That says something about Pochettino's understanding of the player as well. So if you ask me, I could smell some pretty bad shit cooking from Barcelona's pot.
Yeah, but it does show that, Jared, it does show that he's a wanted man, but I mean, more so, maybe it's recency bias that they watched the younger teams play last month, but he's a baller. But at the same time, this is Pochettino's call, no?
Yes, indeed. I mean, we have gone from... Sorry.
No, go ahead, Srinath. Go ahead.
See, this is where the recent tournament came into place, where not just Barcelona, all other elite clubs have seen what kind of a player Andre Santos is. We have been really good with our recruits for the first time in a long while, where we have identified him even before that and signed him. Imagine what kind of a mad rush would be if we are trying to sign him right now. You think we would be having a walk in the park? I mean, hats off to the recruitment team for that.
Yeah, it's the whole idea behind being proactive instead of reactive. Things that the way Arsenal is doing the same. Molina, don't you feel as though, even though Arsenal is spending a lot of money, they're spending smart money? Because I'm looking at the acquisitions that they are signing.
Areas.
In the right areas, right? I mean, you look at, by the way, I watched Emile Smith-Rowe today, and I've watched him recently. I still think he should start over Gabriel Martinelli.
He carried that England.
I fucking love Emile Smith-Rowe. The definition of sticky feet is that blonde fucker. I love him. But no, I feel as though Arsenal is spending and being proactive instead of reactive. And this is on the backs of them, basically fizzling out, no disrespect, in the title race. But man, they are spending so smart. Yeah, Declan Rice, club career fee. Who cares? It's a smart signing.
Wait, but I do have to kind of oppose that in a way that, yeah, maybe we're spending smart, but like Jared always says, we still struggle to sell players. Yeah, we sold Xhaka for 21 million for a 31-year-old, but other players we still can't get rid of. We're still struggling. Like, why is Rob Holding here? Like, what is he here for? You can't tell me he's a footballer, so what is he here for?
Okay,
There's a lot of players we have that no one wants to buy. Nicolas Pepe, we're gonna have to terminate his contract because no one wants to buy a guy with 2 left feet who can't even kick a ball. His first touch is horrendous. Like, he doesn't suit our style of play. He suits a team that plays counter-attacking football.
What is your style of play, Molina? What is your style of play?
Well, right now we're a possession-based team.
Yeah, I agree.
And unfortunately, it didn't work out. Why is Mohamed El Neni still here? Like, he should have been gone a long time ago. No one wants to buy these scraps.
So
I think buying well is one thing, but selling and Chelsea are very good very known to sell players well.
Well, KJ, I have to ask you this question because I've seen this recently with Chelsea Twitter, something that I don't respect at all, very clearly. Everybody's concerned about resale value. KJ, to GMs, whether it's the president or GM or anything, do they really think about resale value when they're buying players that they want?
No, that's the last thing they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the climate of football, as you know, changes constantly. The fact that reselling Pulisic, keep it and Mount is a clear indication that resale value isn't even a factor because it doesn't determine the quality of the player. So if anything, I don't get why we're so focused on the end goal of a player's life cycle when we should be focused on what we're seeing right now. The output is what matters the most. So it actually blows my mind how we're so focused on how much we can get back from the player when we haven't even seen the player feature yet, which is why we end up with these ridiculous sales at the end of the day.
I need to push back on that just a little bit.
Sure.
There is a value proposition when you look at players. I will bring one right up since he's been in the news of late is Onana. We were quoted a different price for Onana than Man United got. Why? We don't need to get into, but we were. And we saw that price was not value for that position group with the skill set he brought and what he was. It wasn't that we didn't have the money to go buy him. It's just that we didn't find value at that price point for that particular person at that particular position group. So there are limits to what we will spend on players because of a value proposition. If you've got to turn around and flip and sell this person, you've got to at least be able to get your value back for your books. So that's just a little part of it, just nuances of it.
KJ, go ahead. Retort. No, let KJ retort.
So this is my point. Do you think with the current project right now that we have, we're focused on how much value we can get back from the players that we get? Because when you consider the fact that our squad is currently diluted and we need to replace a number of positions, do you think the owners are currently looking at the fact that if this player doesn't work out in this season, we need to try to get our money back when we actually need to add to the squad? Yeah. Isn't that a bit redundant in a way?
Well, no, I don't think that's they don't go in and going they don't have a list of checklists going, well, we got to get our money back out, but they do have a thought of this. There's a particular number in their head that they're willing to pay for a particular person at this particular position. And if you go above that value, they're gonna walk away from the deal just because they don't see it as good value, looking at their money as in, okay, we have to invest this amount of money into him. He's going to take up this much salary in the salary cap, because they're going to do different things with FFP. All those things have to be weighed. So they weigh those things as in regard to the final overall package, because it's not just the wages you put on your book. It's the amortized cost of their contract. So it's that plus their wages that ends up on your books every year. So you have to keep that in balance. and there's always going to be positional groups that get a larger margin than others, and they might value goalkeepers kind of the way Carlito does, as in not the main piece of the pie.
Don't tell Andrew. Don't tell Andrew how I feel about goalkeepers. My God.
I'm not saying I agree with everything you said. I think it was, you went, you went way above it and beyond. I know that's just
I
part
apologize for nothing. I've scouted goalkeepers.
I know you don't.
Andrew watches goalkeepers. Give me a fucking break. Come on, man.
But all I'm saying is I think that just needs to be brought out, that there are numbers that they look at when evaluating if a player is good value for the team, and that is always a consideration, but it's just not the main consideration on their checklist.
Okay.
It's
So
basically, do they fit the project and what the coach wants from that positional group?
all right. So Andrew, I got to ask you this because I don't want to talk about the goalkeeper thing. You made your point. I made my point. I want to talk about we've accumulated a considerable amount of capital. Now, a lot of that will go into the fiscal year of last year, which is now over, moot, and done July 1st, new year. But don't we now have license to buy?
Yeah, but the thing is that we're only playing once a week. So
Right. But that's not entirely true.
okay, apart from like a couple of, depending how far we go in the league.
I mean, don't you think that Bowley wants to win both those cups? Come on.
Well, I don't know, but what I'm saying is the squad doesn't have to be that big. Essentially, Poch is going. Defense is pretty much set. I don't know about the goalkeepers, but it seems to be set. The midfield has been decimated by the departure, so we need a couple of reinforcements there. And then there's got Nick Jackson and Kukrin, but we might need another forward. So in essence, we need probably like 4 players coming in. So
Okay, but I'm gonna have to put you on the spot. Which 4 players, Andrew? Which 4 players?
So for me, it looks like it's coming in. Caicedo is obviously the number 1 midfield target.
Of course.
I'm not 100% sure about this Vega bloke. I've watched him a couple of times in the under-21s, and I'm not convinced about him.
Which one?
Linked with him.
Which
Is it
one?
Vega from the Spanish?
Oh,
guy,
Gabri Vega. Yeah, he by the way, he did not play well
Funny.
today. He did not play well.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. There's resurfaced links to Turkey that's come in. I would go for Lavia, but I don't know. And then for me, I would go for a goalkeeper, but I don't know if they will. That's the thing.
Would you sacrifice money and a position to go for a goalkeeper over another?
The thing is this. I don't know what the budget for a striker is, because we're apparently linked with Osimhen, but he's quoted at well over 100 million euros, and Vlahovic is quoted at anywhere from 60 to 80. But then there was reports today, I don't know how true they are, that obviously we're not accepting any bids from Inter because they're too low. But a card was one in Saudi and one for Juventus. So they could try and push through a deal for maybe a swap deal, or a swap deal plus cash for Lukaku and Vlahovic, maybe. And then that leaves
Well, now you're talking about a 3-team trade. I mean, that's some NBA shit.
No, it's just a two-team trade. That's what it is. It's
Vlahovic?
Juventus. Yeah, that's Juventus.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but what I mean is then your budget, then you've got a bit more in the tank to go for a goalkeeper. Now, the problem is there's really only 2 well-known goalkeepers, and there's an unknown goalkeeper, and is it Maschiavelli or what his name is from Valencia? Stuff like that. You've got Magnon from AC Milan, but they've only got him there. They haven't really got another goalkeeper there.
Can I throw a crazy name at you? Can I throw a crazy name at you?
Yeah.
De Gea, man. De Gea.
No.
Really?
No.
It's Kepa 2.0.
Can I be honest? Let me say this right now. This is the only time you're going to hear me say this. I'd rather have Kepa in goal than David.
So is this a confidence issue?
It's confidence and competence.
He's not a modern
That's
goalkeeper.
But the thing is,
You do realize that this player 7 years ago was considered the best goalkeeper in the world.
He's not a modern
Yeah,
goalkeeper.
but for the last 3 to 4, he's been very poor.
Okay.
And that's just what happens sometimes. That's just what happens sometimes.
No.
But
By the way,
I
I'm not
I
like
don't
shitting
think
on
we
him.
need to go-
I'm just asking.
But this is where the scouts come in. I'm sure there's a goalkeeper out there we haven't even heard about. But I know you're going to like, well, why not put Slovenia in? Maybe he'd be number 2. But I'm sure there's like another goalkeeper that we haven't even heard about that is even cheaper that can just come in. The problem is with Kepa is that he puts an anchor on what I think this team could do if we get all the other players in, because there will be some point, even though it doesn't matter how good our midfield and defence is next season, that it's one boring and something happens and his biscuit risks get involved and it costs us points or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or out of the cup.
Well, I mean,
or something
I do
admire.
I do admire when English people actually use the English language correctly and say biscuit wrists, because it's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
But I think though, Poch wants a small squad. We don't need a big squad this season, but even we will play some midweek games, obviously, for Cup and League. But we'll help everyone. Is if we get the Caicedo deal done, I think a lot of people have a sigh of relief, and then we'll just be okay with whoever else comes in. We won't be like angling for like get them in right now or something like that. We'll be like, we've got Caicedo done. That's great. That's good. Let's now just see what we can do. But we need to get more people out still, I think. We need to get Cho, Ziyech, Galadog, and Lukaku out. That's my...
Yeah.
And then the outgoings, that'd be a 10 out of 10 window for me.
All right, so I got to ask Breezy and then Shrinath, want versus need. For me, Breezy, and you look, I love you to death. You and I have talked about this so much, but the striker thing, man, we got to have it, right? I mean, like, I'm tired of playing makeshift. I'm tired of fucking around.
Yep.
I don't even want to do the Gabriel Jesus route. I want a bona fide, big old cock goal scorer. And I'm not even kidding, Breezy. I'm not even kidding. Like, dude, we have the wingers. Mudryk, holy shit. You and I were DMing the other day about how balls out this guy is. So dope, so serious, tattoos on the neck, looking like a 90s pop star, Nick Carter style. All right, you got Madueke, a baller. I can't believe Cole Palmer started over him. That fucking Cole Palmer stinks. You got all these wings, right? Raheem Sterling. We may even get another one. Paulo Dybala. We just need a goal scorer. We need a goal scorer, Bree. Talk to me.
A lot of people are not going to like my answer. It's not gone over particularly well, even on my Twitter. I am all in on Vlahovic. I think the price point he's available for, before he went to Juventus, was one of the most sought after young talents. Tell me what attacker looked good. I think it was someone on the stream the other day mentioned Dejan Kulusevski. He left Juventus, came to Spurs, and he looks fucking amazing. Yeah. If you look at this man's stature, I mean, just look at how he's built. Physically, he can handle the Premier League. I have no doubt about that. Was he disappointing last season? Yeah, he was. He did also struggle with injuries. However, we do have the luxury of depth in that situation. If you're gambling on a 23-year-old striker that you're not going to break the bank for, I'm sorry, we're not going to pay 120 up to 150 million pounds for Osimhen. We're not going to do that. We're trying to be more reasonable with the prices that we're paying in this new approach that we're taking. And for me, Vlahovic is a risk that for once, I think we can actually afford to take, because his upside is crazy. I think his ceiling is really, really high.
Well, I think you're only as good as your supporting cast, right? I mean, you look at with movies, the stage, life in general, right? And I feel as though Chiesa was not completely healthy. Let's not forget, Chiesa is basically the reason Italy won Euros a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I mean, look, he comes to Chelsea, he scores goals because Madueke, Nkunku, Mudryk, these guys, they're setup men. They're not traditionally goal scorers, but they certainly set people up. Vlahovic seems like it could be an interesting option. I have to go to Julien Laurens of ESPN FC, who said he is much better technically than Lukaku, but he also said, and this is my fear because I'm obsessed with Harry Kane, he said his fear is that he's also not a complete footballer. And unfortunately, I am greedy, and I also want my striker to be a footballer. And I don't know. I mean, sure enough, am I reading too much into this, or is Breezy right on this? By the way, Breezy, guess who asked for you to be on? Melina. Melina
wonderful
fucking loves you. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're so
I don't
sweet.
mean to
love
put
you
Melina
back.
on blast, but she fucking loves you.
Carlito, the
that.
first thing I was gonna say was you don't need to say everything I say to people.
Melina, I don't apologize for
I'm
this
not
compliment.
having conversations with you. You tell people everything.
This is not fair. That's not fair. It's a compliment.
Yeah, I did ask for you. I said your energy is top tier energy, and I stand by that.
Oh, I love that. That when I heard that, honestly, that just made my day. It made my
And you're
night.
not afraid to put Jared in his place. So
Wow.
that's even better.
Sometimes he does need to be put.
Get a room, you two. Get a room.
Melina,
Put me backstage.
I don't apologize for giving your compliment to her. I don't.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
I can't argue with you.
One thing I
know,
want
right?
to interject, though. One thing I want to interject, Carlito, to bring it
Sure.
back. How you say you want a complete footballer when it comes to a striker.
Yes.
Vlahovic may not be there yet, but you know who's technically more gifted as far as he can play on the wing, he can play striker, he's an excellent dribbler? Nicholas Jackson. He's still super duper raw, but does that not take the pressure, any kind of pressure off of Jackson?
Astronaut, that question. Astronaut, what do you think, man?
So first and foremost, Vlahovic is someone whom I brought up when we were pursuing Erling Haaland, and it kind of got dropped off because of Man City. So that time we had an option for pursuing Lukaku or Vlahovic, and I was like, why don't we try Vlahovic? But that time he was more like an unknown entity. But right now, his stats are looking very good. It's just I want that kind of player who is like Drogba or Costa. You know, when Costa came into the club, he was like, I go to war, you fight with me.
Yeah.
That is the kind of attitude which we need. We don't need like Morata or, Timo Werner who is saying, I want to win titles, I want to win score. No, I'm going to war. You come with me, you fight with me. That's the kind of striker whom we need at this moment. We have like Nkunku, we have like Noni, we have Mudryk. These are the kind of wingers and attacking midfielders who's going to fly like Ferrari. Like they're going to burn the field. We need someone who's going to wage a war with them. Not someone who's going to stay back and say, yeah, I'm waiting for the feed. We don't want that kind of a person. And speaking of Vlahovic, I mean, this guy is really good. He is having all the stats. I want to give him a fair chance. And fortunately, we have him. We have Jackson as a backup. But that leaves me with the question, where are we going to have Fofana and where are we going to have Broja for that? Broja and Fofana are very good as well, but I don't want to see them, being casted out. Fofana was really good, in my honest opinion.
I think
I gotta ask
goes
Andrew.
out-
I gotta ask
on
Andrew
loan.
this. Yeah, I gotta ask Andrew this. What are we doing, man?
I think Fofana goes out on loan, and I think
Whoa!
Broja.
Oh, Datrov. Sorry. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
sorry, Datro Fofana. So yeah, for anyone said anything.
I was about to have a heart attack. You're
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
the starting right center
Yeah,
back
you're
for
talking about
Chelsea.
yeah, you're talking about yeah.
Fucking hell,
Broja-
Andrew. Be specific.
Sorry, Broja. He's coming back from He's coming back from an knee injury. I'd probably sanction a loan for him as well. I really would. Just because we have a minimum of 40 games next season because we don't know how far we'll go in the cups. So at least getting one cup game. the FA Cup and the League Cup. So minimum of 40 games next season. We've got Nicholas Jackson already in. You're going to go for another forward. Do you really need 3 centre forwards? You got Nkuku there as well. Do you really need that? So Fofana definitely out on loan. Probably Fofana's one of those guys who we're going to sign, but he never really does anything here. He really goes, like I said, we buy him and then we sell him. And Broja, depending on what he does next season, if he goes out on loan, probably falls victim to the same thing again. So I wouldn't get too attached to them being at Chelsea for that long. So yeah, I think they'll both get on loan.
KJ
If we
and
get another
Jared,
forward.
Jared, what are we going to do with forward, man?
Oh, that's very easy. I do think Vlahovic will come in at some point, unless we get into preseason and Broja and Nicholas Jackson are just tearing it up.
Yeah.
You know.
By the way, if he is, I don't want us to get duped by that, because
Right.
And I'm also not discouraging it. I'm just saying I'm cool with him playing well, but we're still bringing in a striker.
Yeah, I believe Vlahovic will come in. I was looking at his 21-22 season.
Yeah.
Which is where he moved in mid-season from Fiorentina to Juventus, and he still had 24 goals and 5 assists that year. So
And Allegri plays some horrible football, man. Allegri plays some absolutely horrible football. Even this is where this isn't Allegri from even when Juventus got to Champions League finals out the 3 years. This is Allegri. This is negative Allegri. It's an absolutely god awful football. Horrible.
Yeah.
Melina, what's up with this, man?
Okay, so this topic is sensitive. First of all, there's no need to throw strays at a winger.
I am not throwing strays.
He's not a striker. Well, at least I don't see him as a striker. I think he's better as on the wings.
But do you think you're gonna buy it? But do you think you're gonna buy a striker?
Hell no, not this window. No way. And in January, we had this conversation before a couple of weeks ago on the barbecue. I would go for Ivan Toney. I don't give a fuck if he's like Reece James and not fit. Sorry for the.
Whoa! You see Reece James recently? That is unsolicited.
Wait, no, sorry. I meant like. I said sorry for the.
AJ, you heard that?
No, I didn't.
That is. Oh.
But anyway, what I wanted to say was Vlahovic was a player I would have took. However, he clearly rejected us. He embarrassed us. Nothing new. And even now, I don't see us going back for a player that told us he doesn't want to come to us. And at the time we were looking at him, we didn't have Champions League. So even now, even with Champions League, I still don't see us going for a striker this window. I think in January, we would go for a striker.
So, Melina, in all fairness, it was Juventus versus Arsenal. I mean...
No, it wasn't, because we never bid for Vlahovic in the first place. We didn't even get to that part. The player, once he heard us, he's like, yo, I'm not interested.
Oh, so he just dismissed you up on it. You like went up and flirted with him. He said, "Nah, you ain't good enough." Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said we don't have the minerals for that.
I can't believe Melina called Reece James fat. I mean, I just can't believe it.
Sorry, I did a prime there.
KJ, what are we gonna do up top, brother?
Bro, you already know what we need to do. We need
I don't know because you've shared it with me. You need to share it with everybody else.
Bro, we need to walk across the street. We need to use the key word there, duped. We can't get duped like Conor Gallagher duped this last season. We can't get duped again. So we need to walk across the street. We need to go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We need to say, hey, we're going to give you 50 million for Harry Kane. We bring him in, and we need to stop complaining. No, I'm kidding. But not about the Kane thing. But genuinely, I know that deal is probably unrealistic and far-fetched, but in some universe where it could happen, I would take Kane over any name that's being thrown at us right
Oh,
now.
100%. 100%.
That's what we need to do, man. But
No, I mean, KJ, let's be real, brother. It's the best striker in the world. Not only that, he's one of the best footballers because there's a difference. People think that Haaland is a footballer. He's not. He's a striker. Okay? And I hate to be, rude, but he's a Cro-Magnon primitive player. Harry Kane is a sophisticated footballer. And so if you really want to talk about it, yeah, dude, this is the best you can get. KJ, I just don't see it, my guy. I just don't see it.
It won't happen, but in some universe where it does, if you won 30 goals a season, if you want someone that can still play in the
not only that,
game,
15 assists, bro. I mean,
bro,
come on, meow. Come on.
He has it. I'm not going to use minerals anymore because that word needs to be banned for life.
Oh. So double. Okay. Gotcha.
He's got the stuff. He's got the stuff, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of up top, man, look, honestly, I think if I had to choose between Jackson and Broja, I'm choosing Broja because he just has a little bit more experience in our current setup.
By the way, ironically, he's faster. He's
really
faster.
is.
I mean, yeah, Broja is actually like the fastest player on this team.
Oh, well, I mean, now he is. Now
He's cracked.
Besides maybe Mudryk, but Mudryk's more quick.
Well, then he's not the fastest person on the team now, is it?
Well, quick versus fast is different. But
No. Let's not do this.
Is that
absolute?
pre-injury? Is that pre-injury or post-injury?
Good question, Andrew. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
I don't think he's faster than Mudryk. Never been faster than Mudryk.
I don't think he is now with that ACL.
Yeah, but the scouting report on Mudryk is that his top speed is reached immediately, and that's actually what makes him so good. And I think we should transition into this because, Jared, I watched this player. U21, he's 22. Why was he even playing there? You want to know why he volunteered to play? Because I think he wanted to get back into shape. I think that he wanted to say, look, I want to be ready for Poch. I want to be ready for preseason because everyone is getting the call that Monday you better fucking show up. Thiago Silva telling Christopher Nkunku, vacation's over, dog. It's time to go back to work. And you got Mudryk, just basically saying, I will play myself into shape before preseason even starts. I love this about him. I also watched him very closely. Now, there are flaws in his game. He's 22. I get it. But my God, Jared, if we actually play him into space, he is devastating. So I've been waiting, and I waited a long time during the spring just to have setup plays where we can play a ball into his space, play a ball over the right back into his space. And it really didn't happen very often last spring. Now, part of that is morale, part of that is whatever, misdirection. Frank Lampard's the worst manager I've ever seen. But if we actually have pattern plays that give Mudryk time on the ball with space against an isolated outside back, that outside back is toast because this is a really good player in the making. I know he's 22, but this could eventually be a world-class player.
Well, no doubt that he has something that most people would kill for is pace. Right, he has that athletic gift that
94 pace, 99 pace.
That you try to coach in the right direction, and hopefully you can harness it and make it a weapon. But he does still need some polishing, of course. Just like any sword, you got to polish it to make it razor sharp. So that's all he needs, and he's already got the instinct to play the balls in the right areas for assist as a playmaker. I think he'll score plenty of goals. But if you're going to have a dominant striker, for me, it's better to watch him get assists because that, those passes should be going to Vlahovic or Nick Jackson or Broja. So for me, it's even – I like the assist more than the goals because goals come. But if you're playing in the game as a team, you have to – it's nice to see that from a young player that he's looking, okay, I can't get mine. Can I get it for somebody else? So
I agree with you. Shrinath, so what do you think about Mudryk? Because for me, I mean, I would recruit the hell out of this player. I'd go to his parents' house. I would eat their food. I would say these are the pattern play scenarios where I would be able to get you space and get you space early, so that you can get behind the back four. And I would diagram all of this for any parent that I'm trying to sell, right? But with Pochettino, I feel as though, probably more sophisticated, more professionally, he would do the same thing. He would sit down Mudryk and say, man, these are the ways that we can actually exploit you, the way that American pundits say, to put you in the right position to be successful, right?
Yep. First and foremost, let's take a step back about Mudryk. The kid has been through a lot. He
Yeah.
has come from Ukraine, where it hasn't been all peaches and roses over there. And he has come to a different league, one of the toughest league there is, and one of the toughest clubs there is. And the kid has shown nothing but character and humbleness. He has been into the media for the wrong reasons, for some of them because of his ignorance. And the kid has been putting himself on the front line. He has come for the Euros just to get himself in shape. He has always been there in the training. He has always showed that he's available. And he hasn't spoke a single complaint about the club, nor about the players, nor about the manager for giving, casting a blind eye on him when the team needed him the most. Like when Lampard was playing Gallagher day in and day out instead of giving Mudryk a fair chance. I mean, this is the kid whom we are talking about, who has gone through a lot. Let's give him the support which he needs, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be a baller. Like the dribbling which he did, the passing which he did in the Euros, my God, that was like mind blowing. That was out of the world. So let's show him that support, guys. That's my take on Mudryk.
We need to touch more on his Euros performance, because that was sensational.
Yeah.
He was doing things that like polished players do. I mean, his pinpoint accuracy as well on his passing.
KJ, he's passing. He's passing.
It's pinpoint passing. That's the thing. And most players don't even have that in world football today. Like,
especially not fast players. Like fast players, they're normally like technically deficient.
And you kind of see his game by numbers when he plays, especially when he plays the ball. You can kind of see him scanning before he passes, which is something that great players like Fabregas used to do. He used to scan first before he pass, and that's what separates him from our current midfield. He's such a versatile player in the sense that he's so quick on the ball, and he already knows what he's going to do before he really does it, which is something we need. So I think, I saw a comment that said Poch ain't going to start Mudryk. I think he is going to start him. Especially based on what's happening in the Euros right now. He's shown qualities that I don't think most of the players in our team have at the moment. So I don't think he'll have a problem settling in. I just think we kind of just need to maintain him.
Yeah, but I've been talking with Paul. Paul's one of my best friends. He's also one of the co-owners of this channel. Paul talks to me all the time about like this is a potentially a Ballon d'Or player. Like if he actually reaches and maximizes the potential that he really does have, this is a devastator.
Oh, big time.
So, yeah, I look at him and I know he cares. Like you could just tell when a player cares, he fucking cares. Like I don't want to get overly emotional, and I won't bring this up again, but I don't like Aspie. I didn't think he was a good captain, but my God, when he gave that speech to Chelsea when he was leaving, you could tell he cared. He gave a shit. He really cared. Like, and I actually loved his speech. I didn't like him as a player, but it has nothing to do with him as a man. Because as a man, you could tell his entire heart is at Cobham. I mean, it's completely in London, and so I loved that type of care. And I'm not saying that Mudryk has that because that's impossible, but I can just say that I can tell Mudryk gives a shit. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah. That's fine. I don't need to. I don't need them to be in love with the club. I don't need them to support the club. I just need them to do their job. That's all it is.
Yeah, but
to do their
them
job-
caring about their job does matter.
Yeah, that's fine. That's like in all walks of life. Care about your job. Do it well. Take some ownership. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more people to take ownership on the field when
Me too.
something goes wrong. And that includes the experienced players as well. I'm looking for Thiago Silva to take more when he plays.
You think he's going to be captain?
I do, but I also don't think he's going to play a lot. If you understand what I'm saying.
Then if he doesn't, Andrew, if he doesn't play a lot,
no, I think he'll be captain. I think he'll be captain when he plays, but I don't think he's going to play a lot, because I think this is his last year with us. And we also have to plan ahead without him.
Of course.
We've got 3 young, exciting centre backs at the club. Yeah, and I think this year, while I think he'll play less, I think he'll be used as more of a mentorship thing for this season, and be there and be like a sort of like a, not even like, it won't be official, but sort of like a on-field coach sort of thing as well.
Sure.
Because I just think you have to plan ahead without Thiago Silva. It's 39, right? Am I right? 39?
Yeah, but isn't that so selfless of him to stay on to even accept a role like that?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm just obviously nothing anyone hears is that's just my guess.
No. By the
It's
way,
my guess.
I feel the same way.
Before anyone says anything, before anyone says, I know, but people are hard of hearing sometimes.
Well, no, but I mean,
so-
for me, it's going to be Fofana, and then it's going to be I don't know, left-sided center back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I presume. That's me. I don't know. It's so hard to call. That first game, I presume Thiago Silva will start that first game against Liverpool. But then I don't see him starting away at Luton Town unless we have an injury crisis, right? Stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Play the big games in terms of names, but also importance throughout the season as well. So,
would you agree that Wesley? Would you agree that Wesley Fofana is the starting right center back?
Yes, I would, but I also think we have to see him have an injury-free season as well. He has to, unless it's a real catastrophic injury, which I hope he doesn't get. We have to see him come through a lot, like other tackles that are on him and stuff like that, and come through games. Because I don't know why people have an issue with. Don't have an issue with 2 right-footed players, centre backs playing with each other, but 2 like left centre back.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about there's I think it's left-footed players. 20% of footballers are left-footed players, so of course there are 2 right-footed center backs.
I never heard this like nonsense at the back when like Rudiger was playing as a left.
I mean, give me a fucking break, bro. Left-footed center back. No, it's not only that, Andrew. It's that left-footed players are so much more one-footed than right-footed players. Right-footed players can still use their left.
John Terry's right-footed. He played on the left for both.
I mean, it's such an intellectual fallacy. It's really what it is.
So well, then how come wingers can do it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean oh my god! I mean that just breaks the argument right there.
Right.
How does Noni Madueke play on the right side if he's a left-footed player? Yeah, fuck me.
How come Eden Hazard played on the left his entire career?
Well, Hazard was 2-footed, but to be fair, I understand.
But right, but what I'm saying is that I back to Thiago Silva. Sorry, I just think it will just be. I think it's actual this season is time to start planning without him, and we have an opportunity this season, especially Poch this season, of only playing once a week, near enough. To actually make his stamp on the 3 centre backs we got there, that are coming up, and then whatever happens next season with Thiago Silva leaves or not, then you're bringing a younger centre back or something like that for the experience.
But I have to ask Jared and Breezy this question. Poch has been very clear. He wants 4 center backs, and Thiago Silva is absolutely going to be one of them. And look, Fofana, I love Fofana. Some people are, I don't know, a little sour on him. I don't understand that. I'm not. I fucking love the player. Badiashile and obviously Levi, 501 Jeans, Colwell. Okay, great. Is Chalobah someone that's going to leave?
Yeah, I think Chalobah's going to go. I think Chalobah's going to go, and I don't mind that. And you know what? He's, whatever might sound is cheesy, I don't think he minds that either. He seems like a very laid back person. If I play, I play. If I don't, I don't. He seems to come across like that.
No, I don't think. I think that is. I think that's him putting on airs. I don't believe him at all.
I don't think he cares.
I think he cares very much.
No, let me rephrase it. I don't think like last season when he was on about, even when he signed a contract, they were on about moving him on. He said his comments about he didn't if I stay I stay, if I play I play. I think that isn't easy. Look, Andrew. I have to say that I think that is an easy comment to say when you are out of favor. I think he just comes across as just that. That's all. Okay. Comes across as very humble. You know what I mean? What with Chalobah? None of these guys are humble. Please don't. But with Chalobah, though, there's no PR spin with Chalobah. No, there's not. No, there's not. No, not at all. I mean, it's not like he won't be saying when he leaves. He won't be saying the dressing room feels like home. You know what I mean? Oh, while he's reading from a script with blonde hair that he had 2 months ago. Gotcha. Yeah. Bree, what do you think? Yeah. Chalobah.
Yeah, I think he's gone. There were a lot of links to both teams in Milan. Inter Milan can't afford a sandwich, so I'm not sure how they're going to buy him. Yeah. But AC Milan look to be doing us more favors than the Saudis. So I really could see him moving on, and I think he is. I don't want to say that he doesn't care, but I think he's more in the mold of a Ruben Loftus-Cheek, where it's like, if I get a shot, if I get to play, that's great. But if there is no opportunity for me here in this team, then I'm going to have to go. And I think he's just someone who kind of accepts the situation for whatever it is. He's happy to play his role, but he's also a young, relatively talented center back. I don't rate him very highly, but I know a lot of people do. I think it. Yeah.
By the way, the person that's washing this, Josh CFC. Josh loves Chalobah. Loves him. In fact, Josh used to bring up, "Oh, we never lost a game when Chalobah started." I love Josh. He's a Miami guy. Josh is great. By the way, Josh, you can come on this show anytime you want. You DM me right now. You can come on right now. I love the guy. But Chalobah, for me, Bree, he's not skilled enough, and he runs out of position. And I'm sorry, I can't abide that. Will he be good in another situation? Sure, because he'll be playing. I think that's the motivation of him. That's just how I feel. If Brighton want a defender, why don't we include Chalobah in the Caicedo deal? If they want a defender. By the way, we might. I'm just saying it's out there. Right? No, Andrew, we might. Yeah. I'm not even fucking with you, because I was talking with Paul today about this. Is that there was actually rumors that it would be 70 plus a loan player for Caicedo, because they need another player. Yeah, of course. Galadog. Include Galadog in the
Mark.
Do you seriously think they want Gallagher though, Andrew? Fine. I don't get it. No, you know I think they would like more? Caicedo. Sorry, no, Caicedo.
No, they.
Oh, that was a loan. That was a loan earlier this summer. Oh, sorry, a couple of weeks ago when Caicedo got
Cesare, yeah.
got all the plaudits from the under 20s.
Cesare.
Casadei.
Cesare.
Yeah, Casadei. Yeah, we think
Casadei,
Brighton
yeah.
was one of the clubs, but I don't know if that was just lazy journalism.
One thing I want to ask this panel. I am so curious. Why is Inter Milan so broke? Like, this is the
They're
same.
not.
club
They're
which
not
was-
sponsoring.
They're cheap.
They actually are broke. The owner's Chinese. Okay, and when you're a
Careful,
Chinese
Jared.
citizen,
Careful, Jared.
when you're a Chinese citizen, you have to pay an enormous amount of taxes to your government on stuff you own because that's just the way it works. And he didn't have the money to pay those taxes. So he got in trouble there. He had to take a huge loan out to stay solvent last year. And now he's paying have to pay. He has balloon payments on those loans. He has to meet. So
They're
there you
also getting good money for the players they're selling.
right, but they have to do that to come up with the money to service the debt on that loan.
Not to mention, they lost their star center back for nothing.
Yeah.
That was
Poor
weird.
business. Yeah.
I think Inter's biggest problem right now is they're actually not using the money from sales to service their loan. They're actually using it
Yeah.
to try and reinforce their team.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying, KJ.
they're
That's
in a
what I'm saying.
catch-22 situation because they need to strengthen their squad and they can't afford to like not pay their loan. So it's like choosing one or the other.
They just renewed Bastoni as well. So
Jeez,
just
Yeah.
renewed Bastoni, and they bought.
If they really wanted to get money, they would sell Nicola Broja to us because I'm pretty sure we would pay $70 million for him.
they need to just sell all their top stars. That's the only way they kind of.
Yeah, but they
Well,
also
you
just
start-
came from the Champions League final. You have to
You know,
understand.
when we say stuff like Nicola Barrera, if we get if we get Caicedo in, doesn't start.
No. Broja is an all-action performer. He can do more than just play the six.
Okay, where else would he play in a 4-2-3-1 with Enzo and Caicedo and Nkunku in the midfield?
Yeah, well, Manchester
I know what someone will say.
City seems to have two players for every position. So I'm
They'll
not
say
really...
play in Kuka at false nine, Jester. That's what they'll say.
No,
False nine.
No,
That's what they'll say. They'll say that. Play the flat three.
No, by the way, Nkunku is not a very big guy. So anybody thinking that he's going to play striker, it's not happening, guys. That is not happening.
How tall is Nkunku?
Oh, it's not just his height; it's his build. He's kind of small.
Yeah, he's pretty skinny.
Yeah, KJ, he doesn't look like you, dude.
He's just 178 meters.
I mean, my God, can you get him on the American Gladiators fucking diet?
Yeah.
I mean, my lord.
Yeah, but
He just
is he small? Is he small?
Oh, look at him flexing his biceps. He's flexing his biceps.
I was totally going to say that.
My head is itchy.
Y'all didn't know yet. Y'all bought two.
If
tickets to the Dutch show.
if KJ was more handsome, he would disappear. I swear to Christ. I fucking love you, dude.
Is Nkunku small like Hazard and Aguero small?
Mm.
Where
No,
the
He's
lower
like
Oh,
half-
I'm
Mason
talking about
Mount
upper
when he
body,
plays
man.
baseball.
He's not built.
he
You know
reminds
how
me of
small
Sterling,
Mason
though.
Mount was when he came before he put on muscle. That's literally how.
If
small he is.
Hazard had very thick legs, and Nkunku is pretty, I mean, Nkunku looks about like 150 pounds.
I'm going to stay out of this conversation. I don't walk around and rate people's muscle mass. I'm sorry.
You're right, but
So you
We're
know what's
literally
boxing
just talking
at
about
UFC.
Just going to say.
KJ, am I wrong in this? Nkunku's too small to play striker in the Premier League.
Yeah, in the Premier League, he's too small, man. He's gonna get body too much. And
He's-
we've got massive center backs right now to compete with. So I don't even
Yeah,
know
bro.
how he'd be versatile enough to just be in and around the box. He can't do it. I mean, he can, but he can't at the same time.
All right, so look, Jared's got to leave in about 10 minutes. So do I, but I want to talk about this last thing, and it's about mentality, right? the way that you carry yourself. Wearing a tight athletic trousers just to show that you got a big old dick. And that's what Mauricio Pochettino did the other day, is that he sat down and he said, this is my club. I know exactly what is necessary. And we're going to do what I say. And we're going to have fun doing it, which he is, because he's not some hard ass. Pochettino is not a hard ass. He is a joyful man. He plays high pressing, attacking football. That is his modus operandi. But you better be fit. You better be ready to work. Little Herman Boone in him. But there's going to be a lot of joyful football going on if you buy in. If you motherfucking buy in. And that dude with his big old dick and his sweatsuit and his neck beard. A little bit of a gut. Not too much of a gut. A little bit of a gut. Shut up and just said, this is my team. And you do what I say. And I was in for every damn word, baby. Every damn word. I was in it, man. I was with every single fucking nuance. Sure enough, tell me I'm wrong, goddammit, because I loved it.
Man, I'm just worried about the stream right now. These jabronis are not hitting the 100 likes, and I'm pissed off with that.
This is the biggest barbecue we've ever had. I'm so fucking pleased. Oh my god.
I'm willing to go for the super chat button right now, but these guys aren't even coming to 100 likes. I mean, what kind of a barbecue is it?
All right, so my brother, my guy from America's Hat, Pochettino, what do you got?
Pochettino is the best there is, and the best there will be. I think I forward the tweet about Pochettino's words to Mudryk. It was like spot on. He said, and I quote, "I'm going to meet him before he comes to preseason. I really like to see and to know him, and then to design the best strategy to help him to be at the level that Chelsea expect." That's the kind of a manager that I wanted in the club, and we have got one now. So this season is going to be on fire.
Good.
Well, of course, when you get somebody in, you need to get speech to convince you to believe in him. And of course, I believe he did that. He's a professional manager. He's done it in the big times. So I'd expect nothing less. Better than talking about biscuit wrist Potter. You know, he's the biscuit wrist of coach. That dude, like I said, smooth as a Ken doll. Never showed any cojones at a press conference, and we get it, the very first one. And I think that if he can imprint on this team and get across what he needs to get across, which I believe he can, because there's highly intelligent football players in the squad, I think that we'll be just fine next year. And people need to watch out, because the last time we didn't have European football, we won the league.
Yeah, so we'll go KJ, Andrew, and then Breezy, and then there we go.
What about Mel?
Oh, no. Mel's last.
Oh, okay.
KJ, what do you got? You handsome son of a bitch.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We love you, buddy. We love you.
And KJ loves you guys. But
I am gonna bite my tongue. Oh my God.
On a real note, look, I've always been a big fan of Poch. I've always said, if you need someone that's direct, someone that is one way or the other, black and white, that's your guy. He is very, very passionate about what he does, and you can kind of see it in just the way he speaks and the way he conducts himself. he came out and said it himself, man. This isn't going to be a developmental thing. We're in it to win it. And I think that's what we need right now. We don't need to be in a position where we give players this sort of comfortability period to prove themselves. If you want to play for Chelsea, you'll play for Chelsea. And I think he's going to inspire that. And I wanted him as far back as when flipping Conte decided to send Diego Costa a message saying we don't need you in our plans anymore. That's how far back I wanted Poch.
Let me ask you this question: should Conte have been fired for that?
Oh, 100%. Well, he should have been gone
Thank you.
the moment he sent that. You don't tell your top striker that you're not part of our plans. That's career suicide.
Thank you.
But yeah, going back to Poch. Yeah, man, I love him. I think he's so good. And look, to his credit, he almost made Tottenham champions of Europe and Premier League winners if it wasn't for us. So, yeah, I think this is a good
brother. He had them clicking,
bro.
Seriously,
he beat Prime City when City were like just getting like amazing. So, yeah, I think he's a good fit for us, and I have no doubts in his ability. I think right now in this period, this is what we need. This is the manager we should have gotten before. And it's funny because I messaged you on Twitter about this when I said we shouldn't go in from Graham Potter. You responded to me saying, well, if Chelsea want to spend their money on him, then they should just get him. I knew this was going to happen. So I'm happy we finally got Poch.
KJ, I stand by everything I say, but it doesn't mean that I'm not wrong. I'm always willing to admit that I'm wrong. Of course. People think I'm so egotistical. There's no ego here, man. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's all good.
And I respect that. You know what?
But by the way, I don't think you're wrong about this one. I think Poch. Andrew, what do you think, man?
He said all the right things, which he's supposed to do. But he just came across as someone who takes ownership, but we're also willing to put it on the players if he has to. I just felt it came across as a professional, as a manager, coach, whatever you want to call it, someone who won't take any shit, someone who doesn't come across as a guidance counselor, kumbaya type, or someone who's actually got his licenses. And so, you know, he just looked like a proper manager. So he looked like one where you go, oh, okay, if you were manager by him, you'd pay attention, you know. And do you know what? I hope he absolutely destroys these guys in training. Yeah. Obviously not to accept them, but just actually go, do you know what? You basically had a season off. Yeah, because they looked very unfit last season. And that's why we probably picked up a load of injuries as well. They're very unfit.
Such a good point, Andrew. It's such a good point.
So I hope he runs them ragged. My only fear is that Galadog will excel in those training things, and we'll probably keep him. That's my only fear. So apart from that, though, yeah, very good. Now let's just get him the players so we can do something next season. So.
You know, Bree, before I get to you, I was actually thinking to myself earlier today about how I used to do preseason with teams when I was a coach. I a lot of preseasons, and as a player, I always hated running, right? But all my training sessions would have so much running in them that people would get fit naturally. But the way that I always used to speak to the teams that I was coaching was, I'm not fucking around. And the best players will play. Yep. And if you don't buy in, you won't play.
He said it himself.
And look, and I remember, 2015, 2014, 2013, when I used to do this shit, I would say the same fucking thing, Andrew. The same fucking thing. I would say, look, it's my way or the highway. No, I'm not going to be an asshole about it, because you're going to have enjoyable football, which Pochettino is promising. You're going to play good football. But my God, if you can't handle 90 minutes of good football, then you ain't going to fucking play.
But what's been
you better be fit.
But the quote's attributed to him, or what his philosophy thinks, that players get paid for training, right?
They don't get paid for games, dude. You get paid for work. Games are not work.
Games is a bonus. It's a
Games
bonus at the end of the
games
thing.
are dessert, bro.
It's a reward.
dessert.
It's a reward for the week of work. That's what it is.
No,
Like a night out.
the work is the training.
So
And I just
the work is the training, and if you do well, you play. That's the thing.
100%. I mean, and by the way, it's exactly how it should be. Bree, what do you think?
I think Pochettino comes across as a man who is incredibly confident in his capabilities. I think a lot of people had a lot of concerns about his mentality when it comes to winning. In the past, he had a not so great quote that we have all heard when he was at Spurs, that trophies give you an ego. And he has also harped on the fact in his first interview, as well as in his press conference, he keeps saying that he is a much, much better coach. And I think what he's alluding to is his time with PSG. He's realized what success looks like. He's realized more what it takes, and that comes with age, that comes with different challenges in different situations. And I think it's just kind of all clicked for him. Of course, we have to, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We have to see how it's going to come together with this squad and with Chelsea. But we've gotten rid of all of these really toxic situations within the dressing room where people just didn't want to be here. And that was so evident on the pitch. I'm a huge fan of Kovacic, but watching his performances last season, it was embarrassing. And as a professional, he should have been embarrassed. A lot of this squad should have been, because as a professional athlete, there is no excuse for you not to be fit to play a full 90. You should be able to play every single game. And I understand that a lot of that falls back on Graham Potter, because he and his coaching staff were not doing a good enough job. He was giving, players extra weeks off. I mean, we would lose and he would give them an extra 2 days off. But that certainly didn't help the situation. It's a full 180 when we think about the situation that we were in with Graham Potter versus what we have now. I feel really, really good that Pochettino is the perfect man for this job.
So, before I get to Melina, just another example of us giving female voices to this barbecue and how much respect I have for Breezy. Breezy, Bree, I love you, man. You're the best. And when you come with that type of fucking shit, you are always welcome. Always. No gender discrimination here, man. You're good, you're good. And no, I fucking love you, Bree. And thank you, because you're articulate and you're thoughtful. And to me, that really matters most. I just want smart people on this channel. I just want smart people speaking to me, because every single time I hear smart people voices, I learn every time. So the last one I'm going to leave to is Minerals Melina, manager Mikel Arteta. I thought he had a really good first half of the season. A lot of arrogance, a lot of fire, maybe a little too much shitting on the refs. That was a little weird. But Melina, I got to ask you, where does Arteta learn from his mistakes in the second half of the season? And how does he become better with the players that he now has, which are new players, new midfield, almost completely outside of his best player, Odegaard, who is his best player, there's no question. Where does he go from here?
Okay, first off, I want to say thanks for having me on the show. First things first, show/stream, whatever you want to call it. And thanks to everyone in the chat who tuned in. Secondly, there's a Drogba quote, and he says, "I no longer recognize my club." That was me when I saw us put 200 million down, which I would never have seen, which I never seen Arsenal do in my entire life since I supported them from young.
Is this
That's
a bad
first
thing?
things first. It's a very good thing that it was spent in quality players and plan A targets.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we didn't get Caicedo, and I didn't from the start. I said I don't see us getting him, which it is what it is. But for us to get our Plan A targets for the first time in years, and when we're finally back in Champions League football after so long, it's a sign of the club moving in the right direction and the board backing Mikel's so-called project. But in terms of what he needs to improve for next season and what we failed on last season, I think it was a lack of squad depth, first things first. Man City, their bench options, and yeah, you can say they're funded by a country. They have a lot more funding than us. They spend the money more than us, of course, and they have better quality than us. But their squad depth, their bench is just as good as their starting. Like the drop off is not as significant. Whereas with us, you take off Saliba and you bring on Rob Holding, it's like day and night. You like there's a big difference. And I think losing Saliba and Tomiyasu in the same game against Sporting Lisbon on penalties was embarrassing. And then having the poor game management against Liverpool, West Ham, the Southampton game at home was dreadful. Brighton. There's a couple of games last season that I was like, what? The players just gave up. And I think having players in our squad, just like you guys did and got rid of, were players who don't want to be here or aren't fully committed to the project or what we're actually trying to achieve. And Arteta is really ruthless with that. I do like that, but I think what he needs to improve going into this season is game management, making your substitutions right on time and making the appropriate substitutions, not taking off players who need to be on. Like Trossard and Jesus can play together. You don't need to take one off to bring on the other. And the other thing is when Saka missed that penalty against West Ham, he should have been taken off, not picking your favorites and, letting that cloud your judgment in a way. This season, I hope to go to more games. Last season, I had a lot of health issues. I couldn't go to a lot of games. And I hope to go to Champions League games. I'm a lot better now. Thank you.
Good.
But I hope to go to my first Champions League game.
Melina, let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
It matters. It matters that you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
To us, to me, to Jared, to this show, it does matter because, I know you're a non-paid part-time contributor. No. To us, your health and your well-being matters to us.
Yeah. No, it's an honor to, like Breezy was saying, it's great to come here and just wind down and chat ball. I'm excited to go to my first Champions League game. And Jared, you best believe I'm going to send you pictures of everything.
Well, you gotta be there one time. Kind of one time.
Only if you'll let us sing back to you, Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. Sorry, love.
You know what? I'm so excited for this season and more so preseason. I think there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm happy with the signings we have so far. Hopefully, we don't take one step forward and two steps backwards. But I'm also looking forward to see the women's team again. Signed Canadian player, signed Rousseau from Man United on a free. I'm looking forward to see the women's team do well. It's a very big signing for the women's team on a free, as well as the Canadian player, Chloe. I hope we do well. And I think Chelsea ladies, they're going to continue to conquer, but Arsenal are still up there.
Last thing I'll ask you, Emile Smith-Rowe. Is he going to get time? That's my guy.
Arteta has been training him for a while, and I think now's his time. Emile Smith-Rowe is my favorite player. Last season,
he's my favorite Arsenal player too.
Last season on the back of my away kit, I got Emile Smith-Rowe, although he was injured for most of the season. Emile Smith-Rowe carried the England under 21s. Let's just make that clear.
He is really good.
And
people sleep on him. I don't like it.
Like he's just so silky on the ball. So good with his feet, and I really hope we give him more game time, as well as Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson, every time he came to score goals and gets a brace, gets a hat trick, he ends up getting injured, and then he ends up not getting any minutes at all. I really hope we use these players so that we've renewed contracts and not just let them sitting on the bench, because they're young players. They like either give them a future or sell them or terminate their contracts and let them go. There's another player we renewed contracts for was Ethan Nwaneri in the academy, and I'm glad he's staying. We tied Saka and Saliba down to new contracts. Martinelli, and then Odegaard I think is left to sign, which I don't have doubts about.
If there are any doubts, I would pay personally to bring him to Chelsea.
Yeah, he's so good.
Keep him away. He sucks.
Okay. He's only the best attacking mid in the world.
Where would he play?
Yeah, he wouldn't.
He's literally the best attacking mid in the world.
Where would he play?
Okay.
Where would he play?
Over anyone.
Over in Cuckoo.
No, and Cougar would have to go out wide. Sorry.
I see. So we sacrifice. Okay.
Oh, you thought you were gonna come at me, and I just nullified your conversation.
You want to sacrifice in Cuckoo? That's fine. That's all good.
No, and Cuckoo out wide.
Yeah, I think it's exciting times for Chelsea ahead.
No, she doesn't. By the way, she doesn't mean that at all.
No,
So-
I do. I honestly
No,
do.
she doesn't. No.
But,
So
but
I'll
I
leave
mean
it.
it. Hold on, I mean it in the sense that it's gonna be interesting to see how you guys do without
There
Europe.
is okay. So
We've
I
experienced
will
that
leave
for a
this.
while,
Okay, Melina. I will leave this as Chelsea does not know how to do uninteresting. Chelsea is always interesting. Okay, this is our club. This is the fucking the life we've chosen, right? Godfather. This is the life we've chosen. Who's the guy that said that? His name was Hyman Roth. Okay, got it. Mo Green, and he invented Las Vegas. This is the life we've chosen. Well, guess what? Okay, this team needs some serious surgery, but I think that we've been in the operating table a while. I am concerned that we don't have a striker. My striker is going to be what Bree says, which is Vlahovic. My only concern with him is that he's not a complete player, but then I compare him to Harry Kane. I don't know. Harry Kane doesn't have the wingers and midfielders that we have, so maybe Vlahovic can eventually become a great player. I don't know. But for now, this has been a record-setting. Jared, a record-setting barbecue. We've averaged over 120 people just watching this fucking bullshit show where we just dick around. And I have to tell you, Jared, I fucking love it. There is no show like our show. No show. You can go on anybody else's YouTube channels. Like, we're going to talk about this player, and formation, all this shit. No. You come on the barbecue, you have a different experience because we're different and we prioritize different. This is what we do. Subscribe to whatever Shanath wants me to subscribe to, all that shit. WorldWideChels, this has been a true pleasure and probably the best episode we've ever had. I fucking love all you. Andrew, thank you for coming on, by the way, buddy. This has been great. Thank you.